From the moment she could carry a bucket, Victoria was taught to scrub the floors. Her small fingers blistered over years of work, her back learned to bend under burdens far too heavy for her age. She was the second daughter of the Adeyemi family. In a household of 3 girls, she was the only one expected to bring in money, cook, clean, and still act like it was normal. At first, Victoria thought it was. She was the hardworking one, the dependable one, the one who could be sent out to sell snacks after school while her sisters got extra lessons or relaxed with cold drinks. "You are strong," her mother would say. "God gave you more strength than the others. Be thankful." She believed it. Until one Saturday morning, her mother burst into the living room wearing her finest wrapper and a wide smile. "My friend from Lagos came to town. Her son is looking for a wife," and she thought of our family. Mildred, the eldest, sat up straighter. Victoria glanced her way and felt no jealousy. After all, Mildred was the firstborn. It made sense. "We're all going for his 30th birthday party," their mother announced. "He wants to meet potential matches." At the party, the hall sparkled with chandeliers and gold-draped tables. Mildred looked radiant in her designer gown. Victoria wore one of her mother's old dresses and was handed a tray. "Help the caterers," her mother hissed. "Don't embarrass us." While she balanced plates and served drinks, she watched from afar as Mildred laughed and chatted with the birthday boy, Michael. He was tall, clean-cut, and spoke with an accent that danced between London and Lagos. When he stood up to get more drinks, Mildred stopped him. She quickly stopped him. "Don't worry, I get them." "All right then." But before heading off, Mildred slipped something tiny into her purse. Something white and powdery. She was working with a plan. The goal was simple: drop the drink, get him into bed, and get pregnant. That way, he'd have no choice but to marry her. She reached the kitchen, did her business, then spotted Victoria loading a tray. "Hey, Victoria. Please take this upstairs to the guest room. Michael's waiting there. I'll join you soon." Victoria, tired but obliging, nodded. She took the tray upstairs, not knowing her fate was about to change. Michael was lounging in the room, sipping water and scrolling through his phone. "Oh, you're not Mildred," he said, surprised. Victoria smiled awkwardly. "She asked me to bring this." "She's coming." "Cool. Sit, then. No need to rush back." She hesitated, but the ache in her legs made her sink into the nearest couch. He offered her a drink. She refused. He insisted. "Come on. One glass won't kill you." Maybe it was the exhaustion. Maybe it was the scent of the wine. Or maybe fate had just flipped a coin. They both drank. And then it hit. It bloomed. Michael seemed affected too, his eyes darkening as he stepped closer. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice husky. I don't know," she whispered, her heart pounding. His hand brushed against her arm, and she shivered. The room felt too warm, the air thick with tension. "Victoria," he murmured, his voice low and rough. Her name on his lips sent a jolt of heat through her. She looked up at him, her lips parting slightly. We shouldn't," she began, but her words trailed off as he leaned in, his lips brushing against hers. It started as a soft, tentative kiss, but it quickly deepened, their bodies pressing together. Victoria's hands found their way to his chest, her fingers curling into the fabric of his shirt. "You're so beautiful," he whispered against her lips, his hand sliding down her back. She gasped as his fingers brushed against the sensitive skin at her waist. His touch was electric, sending waves of pleasure through her. He guided her to the bed, their kisses growing more urgent. Her dress slipped off, followed by his shirt, their skin touching for the first time. Victoria's breath hitched as his hands explored her body, igniting a fire she'd never felt before. "Michael," she gasped, her nails digging into his shoulders. "I've got you," he murmured, his lips trailing down her neck. Their movements became frantic, their bodies moving together in a rhythm that felt both new and familiar. Victoria clung to him, her moans muffled against his shoulder as pleasure coursed through her. When it was over, they lay there, their breaths uneven, their skin slick with sweat. Victoria's mind was a whirlwind of emotions, guilt, confusion, but also a strange sense of satisfaction. She glanced at Michael, his eyes heavy with sleep. "What did we just do?" she whispered, more to herself than to him. She slipped out quickly before anyone could see her. Meanwhile, Mildred had spent the night flirting with another man who'd impressed her with tales of his tech startup. The drinks, Michael, the plan, everything slipped her mind. Until she woke up in a stranger's apartment. "Damn," she muttered. Back home, Victoria tried to act normal. She kept working, kept cleaning, kept pretending. Weeks later, she vomited into the kitchen sink. Her period was late. The test came back positive. Her world shattered. When she told her mother, the slap cracked across her face so hard she fell. Her father beat her with a belt, the buckle tearing her blouse. For days, they locked her in her room, feeding her only water. "Who is the father?" her mother screamed. When she finally confessed, the room fell into stunned silence. Mildred exploded. "You snake! You stole him from me. You knew I liked him." "I didn't. I didn't know. I thought you were coming. I didn't plan it." Victoria cried, but no one listened. To clear her head, Victoria slipped out of the house and sat behind their compound wall. The voices inside drifted out. "We should have left her in that bush," her mother hissed. "Now she's ruined everything." So what if her mother died saving Mildred? "We did our part. We raised her. We owe her nothing." Victoria froze. Her heart thumped wildly as pieces fell into place. The endless chores. The beatings. The way love skipped past her. She was never truly theirs. She ran. To Michael. He listened, wide-eyed. "You're pregnant with my child." She nodded. He sat back, then slowly smiled. "Then you stay here. I'll take care of you." Living with him felt like healing. He gave her her own room, her own space. He didn't touch her again, but the looks, the small gifts, the laughter they shared began to stitch her heart together. One night, months later, as they watched a movie together, he reached over and took her hand. "I think I'm falling for you," he said. Tears filled her eyes. "Me too." But peace never lasts long. Mildred showed up at their gate with luggage. "I'm pregnant too," she said. Michael was stunned. "What?" "That night, I went back. You were drunk. We slept together. You don't remember." Victoria stared at her sister, mouth dry. Michael, confused and guilt-ridden, let Mildred move in. But it didn't take long for Mildred to begin her reign of terror. She mocked Victoria, calling her a maid-wife, tried to hog Michael's attention, and even told visitors she was the main wife. But Victoria had changed. She no longer cried or cowered. She ignored the jabs, focused on her baby, and leaned into the quiet strength she had always possessed. It was during dinner one night that Mildred made her move. She offered Victoria a glass of zobo, her smile too sweet. Michael watched with narrowed eyes. Something about her demeanor felt off. He waited until Victoria went to the bathroom and quietly switched the drinks. By morning, Mildred was in the hospital, vomiting and barely conscious. The doctor confirmed poisoning. Michael called the police. Mildred confessed under pressure, revealing her fake pregnancy and planned to get rid of Victoria. It was over. Her parents came begging next. Crying, kneeling, calling her their precious daughter. Victoria looked at them with eyes like iron. You didn't want me. Keep that same energy. Leave. They never returned. Months later, Victoria gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Michael cried holding him, then knelt beside her bed. Marry me. Not because of the baby. Because I love you. Victoria smiled through tears. Yes. And so, the girl who was once the forgotten daughter became a cherished wife and mother, rising from rejection to royalty.